is 12:30 on the East Coast, and we are only going to be here for a few minutes. But I made a promise. I said, you know what? We're going to do more post-game streams. That's what we're going to do because I love watching football. Everybody in my house goes to sleep, and I turn on the football game. Oh, fix my mic there. I turn on the football games, and I start taking notes, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So here we are. First game. You thought we were going to miss the first game of the year doing a recap stream? Absolutely not. We're here. We are here. Also, great. That was actually an entertaining game between the Eagles and the Cowboys. I thought that was pretty good. The rain delay stunk. 63 minutes. That was awful. I've got my notepad here. I write down all my notes. You can see them right in there. We're gonna go over this. First thing, look, before the game even started, we had a couple of things before the game even started. If you're an Eagles fan, you're happy with the win, but I'm sure you're not satisfied with the way things went. They're interviewing Jerry Jones right now. Who cares? I would only care what Jerry Jones has to say if they had won the game. But before the game, we had Boys to Men sing the national anthem. That was electric. Always a fan of pulling out somebody that was from my early years, my childhood, to sing the national anthem. It's awesome. Sirianni did not cry during the national anthem. People are saying that he's lost a step. He's lost his fastball. He also had on those sleeves. With all due respect, the Cowboys blew it, and the delay hurt the Cowboys. Yeah, what hurt the Cowboys is trying to make Miles Sanders a thing again. Let's just be honest right there. You can't, Javonte Williams is having a pretty good game. He's a tough runner, but it just doesn't. They're not explosive, him or Miles Sanders. Like there was one time Miles Sanders tried to get the edge and just slipped and fell when he tried to turn the corner like he was on Looney Tunes. But the Cowboys, putting in Miles Sanders to try to act like they've got some sort of two-headed backfield is beyond me. Yeah, that's right. See, he doesn't got it. B. McCormick's here. You know he is. That guy doesn't miss. But before the game, before we get into all the analysis, quote unquote, man, we're all sitting there watching. And we're like, why is nobody? The guy got hurt on the opening kickoff, and then all of a sudden you see there's a flag on the field, and you're like, what is going on? Well, for those of you who are watching this that didn't see it, maybe didn't know, I'm about to pull it up right here. Here we go. Of course, there you go. Blue's here. What's up, Blue? We're not going to be going too long tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow. But I made a promise. I'm like, look, we're going to be doing this. Jalen Carter spits on Dak Prescott. So for about 2 or 3 hours, everybody's like, this guy's a bum. How could he do that? Kick him off the team, suspend him. With Georgia joke, Hawk Tua joke. Internet's going nuts, And then what does Dallas do? They get the ball and they basically run a gap all the way down the field with Javonte Williams, and then he punches in 2. You know what I mean? So that's, the Jalen Carter thing. I mean, you can't all the guy, like every show. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because if you want to look, there's going to be 4 million shows tomorrow. Every single one of them is going to be talking about. They're going to get up in front of the camera and be like, if you spit on me, we're going to be having words. No, you wouldn't. You'd have done exactly what Dak Prescott did. You're not a tough guy. You don't spit on somebody. Obviously, everybody knows that, but don't get up there and puff your chest like you're going to do anything. That you do what Dak Prescott did. You just stand there because the guy's about to get thrown out of the game. So you're not going to do anything, Ryan Clark or Booger McFarland or whoever else wants to say, if you spit on me, I'll slap the you-know-what out of you. No, you wouldn't. Not in that situation. So everybody's running like, oh, I can't believe why'd he do that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they had time during the storm break, during the lightning break, which came out of nowhere. Hadn't rained there in a week. Hadn't rained there in 3 days. And they find the original tape. Don't lie now. The eye in the sky does not lie. Dak Prescott started this whole thing. Legacy drive. Then here comes Jalen Carter with the spit. And then, apparently that's Bill Belichick's son. I don't know how he got on the staff. But Dak Prescott, who who Chris Collinsworth said was rock hard. First of all, Dak Prescott has no idea how to spit. You can't have your spit going 6 different directions. You've got to be better than that. If you're gonna project spit to something, you can't have it spraying all over the place. Come on, Dak. We got to be better spitters than that. So, anyways, so let's take a look at this. Right, the first quarter, we had the Javonte touchdown. Then we had Hurts getting another touchdown. I think the biggest takeaway from the first quarter that I had, look, if you're an Eagles fan, let me pull up the here we go. So we'll get to some of those other videos here in a second. But if you're an Eagles fan, let's go here. If you're an Eagles fan, after you watch that game, yeah, he was taunting him, dude. He was taunting him for sure. Overpaid, 100%. Dak had a chance. Like, they had a chance. Now, hold on. Let me get to my point, and then we'll get to others. If you're an Eagles fan after this game, and I'm not an Eagles fan, you can tell I'm a Niners fan back here. I'm not a Cowboys fan. We have Cowboys fans on our shows. But if you're an Eagles fan after this game, you've got to be like, that defense is really young. It's one of the youngest in the league. They lost 10 starters from last year. Dallas was able to run the ball somewhat. We'll take a look at the team stats. Dallas was able to run for over 100 yards, basically with Javonte Williams. But I feel like the weather delay kind of slowed everything down. Obviously, I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm trying to go do a podcast here, and it's been like 20 minutes after the rain delay, and I'm like, dude, there's no way you catch me running around on a football field. Yeah, I mean, the spread was 5.5. Whoo, hate to see that, dude. Hate to see that. But if you're an Eagles fan, you're happy with the way that Saquon looked at times. You're happy with the way that Jalen Hurts looked. You're happy. Jalen Hurts was in command. I got to give him credit. When a play needed to be made, Jalen Hurts made the play. But that's who he is. That's what he's done. That's why, people like, he's not going to put up the gaudy numbers. The tush push was back. A.J. Brown caught one pass. What book was he reading on the sideline, all that stuff. So if you're an Eagles fan, you're happy to get the win, closer than you would have liked. Not as dominant as I would have thought, in my opinion. The defense did not look that great. I mean, obviously, you lost your best player before the game, so it's hard to judge them on that. But I'll tell you this right now. Adoree Jackson was a liability out there, buddy. They were cooking him. Everybody that was being guarded by Adoree Jackson was getting the football. Cavonte Turpin, they threw the ball to Tolbert. They threw the ball to Pickens. CeeDee Lamb. We'll get to CeeDee Lamb in a minute, by the way. Shout out in the second quarter, too. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson had a commercial together. That leads me to believe there's something brewing there. So, secondly, second quarter, Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott running is comical, to say the least. When he took off one time, and he looked like his legs were rubber. Like, it was hilarious. They were flailing everywhere. If you're a Dallas fan, after you watch that game, you're sitting here thinking, we had a chance to win the game. Javonte Williams looks effective. But I'll tell you this right now, the defense before the lightning storm, they had no gap control. They had no lane integrity. They would get upfield, and Jalen Hurts would run right by him every time. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you are really mad at CeeDee Lamb, because CeeDee Lamb dropped like 4 balls, 3 of which were late in the game that probably could have led to some sort of scoring drive. But, that even the 4th down play hit him in the hands. I mean, he got hit in the face mask. He got hit in the hands. CeeDee Lamb was getting hit. He needs to go back to Little Giants tape and start catching toilet paper again, because that was bad. I'm sorry. That was as good as he is and has been. CeeDee Lamb dropping the football was not on my bingo card. That's a real shame, dude. That's a real shame. But after the weather break, the Cowboys they did this little drill where they had the defensive line kind of crash or flood one side and then loop somebody around the other side and kind of force Jalen Hurts to roll out. And it was pretty effective. And their run defense actually ended up looking pretty good. Kenny Clark had part of a sack. So, if you're the Cowboys, that was probably better than you thought, I mean, still, if you're CeeDee Lamb, you got to catch the football. CeeDee Lamb let him down. He let him down. Simple as that. That guy from Western Michigan, kneeling for Dallas, was pretty good too. He was getting things ramped up. I mean, do you miss Micah Parsons? I mean, that was kind of the talk on Twitter too, as everybody was talking about that. So, I don't know that they do. So, couple other highlights here from the game. This was there. Two things that are the buzz of the NFL right now is it's getting soft because you've got this where, hang on. Sanders tried to bounce outside and got run down by Nolan Smith, and then he kind of walked over him, and then they threw a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. NFL's getting soft. And then we had this one where Reed Blankenship hits Jake Ferguson in the end zone. I mean, I don't know what else he's supposed to do. Just not hit him. It's two guys running towards him. He's not just going to let him catch the football. But, Dak hit dudes in the hands all night. I got to give Dak credit. He was throwing balls everywhere. I got to give him credit. I mean, I don't think he's any good, but he was putting the ball on the money. So, but anyways. So, but yeah, in the red zone, the Cowboys didn't capitalize. That was one. He underthrew Ferguson in the third quarter as well in the red zone where it bounced off of the guy's helmet. So there were multiple times like the CeeDee Lamb drops, the underthrows by Dak, the drop there by Ferguson. The Cowboys had it. Like they had it if they wanted it. They had it. I mean, that, and then of course late in the game it was the Sanders fumble as they were going in to score, and that kind of sealed the deal, no matter what you want to say. But you just if you're Dallas, CeeDee Lamb dropping footballs. I mean, that was a dot there with like 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and CeeDee Lamb, I don't know. So, but overall, it was a fun game. The Cowboys had a nice 2-minute drill late there. So the over was dead. The Lightning killed the over. So that's a shame. But I mean, overall, fairly even. I mean, both teams had around 300 total yards. They had about the same amount of play. I mean, there for a while, it was going back and forth. They were trading scores. And, it looked like I didn't think Dallas's offense would be able to keep up because I thought Philly's defense was good, but apparently not. So, but again, the legs of Jalen Hurts, he got the last first down there. I don't know how I feel about Dallas's coach with the visor on either. He's a visor guy, but he's not a Kirby Smart visor guy. He's more like a, I don't know, like a 1980s visor guy, which is really curled. If you're gonna wear that type of visor, not the big brim visor, you got to go really curled on it. I'm sorry. So, but 8 total drives apiece. They averaged about the same per play. Dallas had the lead in the passing yardage, rushing. Philly had the lead. The penalties were crazy against Philadelphia. J-Vi called it. He said, look, this is the first. Hey, see you later, Blue. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. It's good to hear from you. The penalties, J-Vi called it, man. He said, look, there's no way the NFL is going to let game one be a blowout. Absolutely not. And Philly, undisciplined, 9 penalties, 110 yards. Turnovers, Miles Sanders, dude. Miles Sanders. Every Cowboys fan just says Parsons today. Time of possession, Eagles won by about nine minutes there. So Dallas in last in the NFC East, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas in last. But overall, pretty dead even game for the most part. Like, most people thought this thing was going to be an absolute blowout, but it wasn't. It was not. So I come away being like, I'm a 49ers fan. So obviously everybody saw the news that Christian McCaffrey's calf is no longer doing well. So before that news, I was like, you know what? Niners could smoke both of these teams any day of the week, twice on Sunday. But both these teams on third down were pretty good too. 8-13 for the Eagles, 7-11 for the Cowboys. But that's all I got. The spitting before the game was kind of the highlight, and then it was a back and forth game. Good game to get us warmed up. Hate the weather delay happened. So appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go to bed. So quick review. Hey, guess what? We'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks for tuning in, B. McCormick. You're the GOAT. Hang on. Let me get this right here. We will be back tomorrow night to talk post-game Chiefs Chargers as well. And then maybe even the college football pick'em that I'm going to do. Pick a few games on that one. So maybe we'll do the Chiefs and Chargers, and then we'll do a little college football pick'em for Saturday. And then on Saturday night, special guest J Bones making his way back to the show to talk some NFL pick'em week 1. We've entered a contest, a different contest this year. That way it's not just 5 games. We're going to pick every single game. J Bones is a wealth of information. He always comes in with so much information. So stop in Saturday night, probably around 10 or 11 p.m., and we will talk football for about an hour and do our NFL pick'em contest. We got stuff coming in. Check out the new podcast. It's out now. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. See you later, everybody.